Hey there, my wedding planning friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I'm Emily Summer. I'm a wedding planner based in Montana, and I make weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice. So for anyone that is just tuning in for the first time, in addition to wedding planning, I also own a bridal shop here in Missoula, Montana. It's called Velvet Bride. That is where I'm at today. In today's video, we are going to be talking about what to expect when you are going wedding dress shopping. I've talked on more specifics of this experience before, but I realized I've never really done a video on just kind of what to expect if you've never been wedding dress shopping, where to even start. So we're gonna go over all of that today. So when it comes to wedding dress shopping, this will probably vary depending on where you're at, what your options are, how many places are available to you, and if you're planning on traveling to do your wedding dress shopping. But the first thing that you should be doing is researching the shops in your area and look at what their inventory looks like, their price point, as well as what their lead time is. So always have an idea of how long things are going to take before starting your wedding dress shopping. So this is the one thing that I just wish every single person knew before even wedding dress shopping, is that it takes months and months to get a wedding dress. And this will vary depending on where you go. Here in my store, it's 4 to 6 months to get the dress in, and then you want to make sure you're giving yourself like 2 to 3 months some time for alterations after the fact. There are some stores that can take up to a year to even get a dress in. So just have that knowledge before you even step foot and start your wedding dress shopping. So when it comes to actually what to expect in the appointment experience, in your actual wedding dress shopping experiences, some stores will be appointment only, some will require you to make an appointment, and some will be just walk-in. So make sure if you are kind of on a whim wanting to go wedding dress shopping, that you look up wherever you're thinking about going and see if they even accept walk-ins. A lot of bridal shops will require some type of appointment. Also, sometimes a fee might be involved for this appointment. That's fairly common, especially in larger cities. This is usually common if you are having a more of a private appointment, if you have one-on-one with a stylist, or if you're reserving a private room or like a VIP appointment with upgrades or anything like that. But it is common for smaller boutiques such as mine to charge a fee as you're getting one-on-one assistance in that appointment. A lot of stores will choose to use that fee as credit towards a purchase though. So we do here in our store, we do have a bridal appointment fee. If you do choose a dress and purchase that dress, that fee does get credited back to you. What I typically recommend is, if this is the case, if you are paying an appointment fee for somewhere, I usually recommend saving that for not your first appointment. If you're planning on shopping in multiple places, save the one that you're paying the fee for your second or third if there's multiple. Save it once you have a better idea of what you're looking for in order to best utilize that fee and utilize their knowledge, and then have the potential of getting that credited back to you. Another thing to note is a lot of shops will have other appointments going on. So you will likely have your own stylist and have your own appointment slot at this store, but there's likely going to be other appointments happening at the same time with other stylists. This might interfere with maybe the mirror, like you guys are all sharing one large kind of viewing location, or maybe you have separate locations. This will vary depending on the shop. If this sounds intimidating to you, if this makes you very overwhelmed, if you don't like the idea of other people being around or having their experience or being distracted by whatever might be going on in somebody else's appointment, look for bridal shops that have the option for a private appointment. Or here at my store, we are so small that every appointment is a private appointment. You get the entire store to yourself whenever you book a bridal appointment, and that's great for our brides that are maybe intimidated about the process or don't like a lot of attention on them, or just get overwhelmed about this experience as a whole. Being able to just have your people there and not have to worry about what other people are doing or having them see you in wedding dresses can really make a difference in the overall experience. So upon entering your appointment, your bridal stylist will likely be asking you a series of questions, and there's a good chance that they sent these questions or some form of questions to you prior to your appointment. Again, every shop is a little bit different in how they will operate, but a lot will send information prior to your appointment. So make sure that you are providing accurate contact information, whether that is by phone call, text message, email, whatever that might be. You will likely be getting information prior to your appointment. This is so that we can get a sense of what you're looking for, what your budget might be, what your overall style is, time frame, all of that sort of thing prior to your appointment, so we can make the most of that short time frame that we have together. Additionally, once you arrive, you will likely be asked some more questions or just confirming the information that we have. So be prepared with that information. Know what your wedding budget or your wedding dress budget is. Having your venue location or some locations in mind is going to be helpful, and just kind of an overall sense of what you think you're interested in. If you have no idea what you're looking for wedding dress wise, even just having an idea of maybe what you don't like, whether that's a neckline you know you don't like on yourself, your own personal style desires, as far as like, you know, you don't like pearls, or you're not going to like anything that has a lot of beading on it or something like that, having any sort of input is going to be helpful to provide to your bridal stylist. And then when the actual appointment starts and you begin browsing, or they've pulled dresses for you, this is where things can vary. Some stores will already pre-pull dresses based on the information that you sent prior, and will have you try on the collection that they pull for you. And some stores will have you browse yourself. Here in my shop, I do kind of a combination where I will pull some dresses based on their inspiration or show them prior to them browsing themselves, but then I always have our brides do their own perusing so that they can pick out a few dresses themselves. You will typically be limited in how many you can try on, at least initially. So I like to start with 5 to 7 to actually just get started. Some brides will power through those a lot quicker than others, and some will spend a lot more time in the dress. So I don't like to have too many options right off the bat, so that if we are trying to take some time and figure out how we're feeling in every dress, what we're liking, not liking in every dress, we can get through that without feeling overwhelmed and bombarded with so many options in the back that we have to like rush to get through all of them. You want to make sure that you are trusting the stylist that is working with you. They are really there for you. They are there to guide the appointment. They're going to try and navigate it as best as possible and with as much efficiency as possible. If they're pulling dresses for you, at least be open to trying it, even if it looks like something you would never try on your body. At least give it a try. And also turn to them for any questions you might have or any suggestions that you might be in need of. Additionally, your stylist is 100% there for you. So if there's anything that you are nervous about, anxious about, if there's somebody in your bridal party that you know is going to make comments that are going to piss you off, or that you don't want to deal with, or that any sort of like experience, communication that you are anxious about in any way, let your bridal stylist know that ahead of time, because they will help you navigate that. They will be able to turn conversations around, or if there are difficult opinions or things happening in the group that you brought, being able to bring that back to you if they know that that is something that is going to affect you, or that you are you previously mentioned is a concern of yours. On a similar note too, be prepared to be undressing in front of somebody. You are going to likely have your bridal stylist helping you in and out of wedding dresses, and this might feel uncomfortable at first. I promise it gets a lot more comfortable. That is literally our job. That is what we're there to do. It is just difficult to get in and out of a wedding dress, and you'll experience that once you start trying them on. And also for liability reasons too, like if a piece of fabric gets stuck in a zipper, or if a button pops off, that's on the stylist, it's not on you. So you don't want to be the one that's responsible for stepping on a dress or accidentally zipping up a piece of tulle in a zipper or anything like that. Let the bridal stylist assist you getting in and out of every dress. That being said, be prepared with your undergarments. Please wear underwear to your appointment. You'd think that would be common sense. Sometimes it is not. Make sure that you are bringing proper undergarments. Typically something nude or very light colored is going to be preferable. You can see dark undergarments under a white dress. A lot of dresses will have some sort of bra cup support built into the dress, so a lot of my brides will choose to go completely without a bra when trying things on. That is totally fine with us as long as you are comfortable with that. So typically we will recommend bringing a strapless bra, but just know that you might end up going completely braless trying on dresses. When you do start trying things on, you will likely have just one sample size dress that you're going to be trying on. So it is very common for the dress to not fit you when you're trying things on. Wedding dress shopping does unfortunately require a little bit of imagination, and this can vary depending on the size of the store that you are going to and what their size variations might be. But a lot of times you will have the sample, and then your bridal stylist will clip it to give you the best visual of what it would look like in your size. So just go into it knowing that you might need a little bit of imagination to visualize a dress completely in your size. You're probably not going to be able to try it on perfectly to fitting you. So just go in with a little bit of that knowledge. As you're trying dresses on too, be very honest. Don't feel like you're going to offend your bridal stylist by not liking a dress that they picked for you or just not liking a dress in general. Saying a dress is pretty is not helpful in you finding your wedding dress, because they're probably all gonna be pretty, right? It's not about finding a pretty wedding dress. It's about finding the dress that you love on your body, that makes you feel amazing, that you can see yourself walk down the aisle in. So be honest about what it is that you are liking about dresses, as well as what it is that you're really not liking about dresses. That's only going to help you and help navigate the appointment to find the dress of your dreams. On average, I would say most of our brides will try on about 10 dresses per appointment, up to 12, depending on how quickly they're getting in and out of them. But typically 8 to 10 is pretty standard and what you can expect to try on in an appointment. So if that sounds like a lot, if that feels overwhelming to be putting on 8 to 10 different wedding dresses, then set yourself up for success to be able to just do it one time and go in on one appointment, and have good communication with your bridal stylist, as well as looking up what you need to research and look up dresses prior to your appointment in order to have the most efficient appointment possible. So once you try on all of your dresses, usually I like to navigate it to figure out, narrow down like a silhouette that we're really liking, maybe a fabric we're really liking, and the neckline, and be able to get it to a point where we have a top 2, maybe 3 dresses that we can save time for at the end of the appointment and be able to go back and revisit. A lot of times seeing these dresses a second time around can really sway your decision, and sometimes brides will fall in love with the very first dress they try on, because there is a little bit of this first dress magic, and then when you go and put it on again at the end, that magic has worn off a little bit, and maybe there's others that you're liking more. So it's always beneficial to try on your favorites a second time and get a second look at them at the end of your appointment. So make sure that you are leaving some time for that and being able to kind of rank dresses in your mind as you're trying things on, so that you do continuously have like a top 2 or 3 in your head. If you do find a dress that you love and you say yes, you will likely get measured during this appointment. Size charts vary across designers. Try not to pay really any attention to the actual size. That is just how we know to relay that information to a designer, so they know how to cut and make the dress. The size does not matter. Pay no mind to it. You will get measured. We will order you a size, and then you will have whatever celebration moment this looks like for you. Maybe you pop champagne, take some photos, have a photo with a say yes to the dress sign, whatever that looks like for you, and then provide payment. There will also likely be a dress contract for you. A lot of shops will incorporate some sort of dress contract. This typically includes things like, since you are purchasing it in advance and you have your measurements, that you are understanding that if your size changes from the day that you are purchasing and ordering your dress, then that's kind of on you, and that you understand that. As well as most stores do have a pretty strict no return or exchange policy. So know that going in. You will also want to make sure that you're discussing timing so that you have a good idea of when the dress will arrive and what that looks like, if they will contact you, if you need to reach out and be contacted. Most stores will contact you. I can't imagine any bridal shops not contacting you when your dress comes in, but it's always good to have that conversation. Wedding dress shopping is arguably the most fun part of your wedding planning, and for some this may not be true, but hopefully this video will help ease a little bit of your anxiety knowing what to expect going in. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to get weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice, and we'll see you next week.